Okay, PLC 3. This is where we're bringing it home. This is what we call the ownership experience, or frankly, I'm starting to just call it ownership. This is the ownership video. So here we are in our overall map. Talked about this already a few times. We have the pre-pre, then the PLC 1, PLC 2. Now we're on PLC 3. Another way to think about this, well, it's the opportunity, the transformation, the ownership experience. Sometimes they have PLC 1, I could call it the journey. So it could be the journey, the transformation, and then ownership, or opportunity, transformation, ownership. Another way I like to think about this is why for PLC 1, what for PLC 2, and how to for PLC 3. And that's actually what I just said right there. It's why, what, and now how. So you've shown in the first two pieces that potential transformation or change that your avatar can have. You know, they're moving towards more pleasure or away from pain, no matter what you're selling. Okay. The ultimate answer of this whole journey through the PLC is to buy your product. And by the end of PLC 3, they're going to see that. That's what you want. But first, you really have to continue to build value. And that's a key thing in PLC 3. This is all about having them feel what it's like to own that transformation and to own your product. That's why we call it ownership. So here's the framework, the overall recipe for PLC 3. Starts off with thanking them and showing excitement. Thank them for the comments and the questions from PLC 2. So this is very similar to PLC 2, where you're thanking them for their reaction to PLC 1. And so now, as I talked about with PLC 2, you have sort of a couple different universes. You have people that this is the first video that they're going to watch. And then you have people that have seen PLC 1 and 2. You have some people that have seen just PLC 2. You've seen some people that have just seen PLC 1. So they're going to be in all different places. And, when you have an internal launch, even then, like where you're mailing your list, your avatar about each piece, you have a little more control. But once you get into a joint venture launch, where you have partners, and some of them, PLC 3 is going to be the first piece that they mail on. So it gets a little more chaotic as you get to PLC 3. So you just have to keep that in mind. That some people, even if they've clicked through to the first two pieces of pre-launch content, they might not have consumed them. So you always have to remember that. So first of all, you thank them. And even if they haven't seen those first ones, that thanking for those comments and those reactions, that's building social proof. Then, just like in PLC 2, you want to have a quick recap of the opportunity and your positioning. You don't want to go on and on and on and belabor it, but you have to sort of talk about that journey and the opportunity really quickly and remind them why they should be listening. And, oh, by the way, who are you and why should they pay attention to you? So you have to move through this quickly, because for someone who has seen everything up till now, it'll feel repetitive if you belabor it and go too long on this. And, oh, by the way, if you can do this in a slightly different way than you did in PLC 2, so much the better. Now, this is a great place to drop in a case study if you've got one. And if you're your only case study, then you can drop in yourself as your own case study. Then you want to answer the top questions you've been getting. In other words, you're going to answer those top objections. I talked about this extensively when I was talking about PLC 2. So if you missed that one, go back and watch the video where I talked about PLC 2 and walked you through this. But you want to answer those questions. And often people will ask the same question or raise the same objections in different ways with different questions. So go ahead and you can answer them, and you can answer slightly different questions that still get to the same objection. Okay, so this video really often is, or this piece of pre-launch content is often, it's about the big view. So when I do it, when I'm going through my launch for product launch formula, this is my product launch blueprint. And the product launch blueprint sort of gives the overall view of the entire process, every bit of the launch process, where I just walk through and I name it. I talk a little bit about it. It isn't like I go through great, super deep detail about every piece, because, well, every piece is product launch formula. And as you know, product launch formula is this big thing. You're whatever, 80% of the way through this course, and you know what, there's a lot here. My product launch blueprint video isn't nowhere near the depth that I go in here, but I name almost all the different pieces. And in naming those pieces, people, they start to get a feeling for what it's like for me to teach them, for them to have mastery of all those different pieces. And that's what I talk about, the ownership. What it would feel like to own product launch formula. More importantly, what would it be like to own the mastery of this process? And what would it feel like to own the end results of this process, the end result of having a successful launch? And that's what I'm teaching when I do my PLC3, the product launch blueprint. And you could be doing the same thing, whether it's it's having this great meditation practice, or being able to play the guitar, or being able to take great digital photos and publish them. Any one of those, you can show what it's like to be the person who owns your product, owns the experience, owns the mastery of that process, of whatever you're teaching, the mastery of being a non-smoker. Have them own that experience. That's what you're doing in PLC3. Now, one of the big things here is bullet number 6. You have to do this. This is the mistake in the very first version of Product Launch Formula. And even in the second version, I didn't teach hard enough on this topic. So this was a mistake people used to make. I don't see my PLF owners make it anymore because I hammer on this. Really important to pivot to your offer and create a soft landing. Now, what do I mean by that? In the last 25% or so of your video, somewhere near the end of your PLC3, you have to let people know something's coming. This creates a soft landing for your offer in your next video. Because by now, they're two almost all the way through your 3 videos that have been teaching them. You've been building this relationship. You've been delivering value. You've been doing an amazing job with this. And they've fallen in love with you. But now you're going to ask them in the next video to buy from you. And it's like, you don't want it to be, I'm your best friend, I'm your best friend, I'm your best friend, best friend, but we're awesome, we love each other, buy from me, buy my stuff. So you have to create a transition in here. You have to create a transition. And it's very simple. It's very simple. It's something along this lines. Hey, let me start over. Hey, I've loved sharing these videos. I've loved creating these videos for you. I've gotten so many great comments, so much feedback. It's so exciting for me to see everyone really getting this and how big a deal this is and the impact it can make on your life and the life of those around you and what it can do for your future. And it's just been fantastic sharing this. I've loved this process. I've loved this interaction we've had. I've loved getting all the comments from you. Now, in my next video, what I'm going to be sharing is how to go even deeper. Because I'm going to be opening up a limited program, and I'm going to be taking on a number of clients, a number of students that want to go deeper. And so I've created this program, which is basically the next step beyond this. So if you're ready to move forward, if you're ready to really get mastery in this area and really change your life, to transform your life, then I can't wait to share. I'm so excited to share in this program I put together, and I'll be sharing that with you in my next video. So it's something along that lines. You definitely need to put that in towards the end of your 3rd video so you have this transition to the sale. Now, one of the things you want in that bullet 7 here, you want to seed the scarcity of your launch offer. Now, this is something that every launch offer, there has to be a beginning and an end to your launch. At the end of your launch, if they don't decide to act and jump on board with you, there has to be some negative consequence. Either the price goes up, or certain bonuses go away, or the product comes off the market. Those are the three primary ways to get scarcity. I'll repeat those. Either the price goes up, bonuses go away, or the product comes off the market. And you could have more than one of those. You could use more, it could be the price goes up and bonuses go away, or bonuses go away and the product comes off the market. Or it could be all three of those, but at least one of those three things has to be true at the end of your launch to get people to move. You want to create a deadline. And you want to mention that in this PLC3, that you only have, there's going to be a limited window to jump on board. So, I just, in that last bullet, I was talking about pivoting to the offer, and it could be, I've got this program coming up. I'm going to be working with a limited number of clients. So we're only going to be having this registration period open for a certain period of time, for a limited period of time. So you're going to want to want to check out that next video right away. Or it could be, there I just said a limited number of clients. It could be, I'm only going to have that registration window open for a limited period of time because I want to get this new program off the ground and really get it rolling. And I've got this great program coming up, and I've got these amazing bonuses that I've got for you. Now, those bonuses are limited, so I've got a limited registration period, but I'll share that with you in the next video. So you don't want to be over the top and hammer people on this. It's just a one-liner, sort of offhand, that it is a limited time period. Here I just gave you some examples of, a lot of these are really sort of transition examples of how to say things and transition into the different parts of the video. The beginning, thanks for all the comments. It's just fantastic hearing back from so many of you. Really love it. Tons of energy from all your comments. Thanks. Keep it up. In the last video I showed you, that's the recap. Do it quickly. And how I discovered the answer. That's the recap, and it's part of the recap of your authority positioning. And what's possible, that's a recap, the opportunity. The success some of my clients have been getting has been amazing. That can lead into a case study. One of the limiting beliefs, one of the most common questions people have has been, that's how you walk into objections. If you can do this, then this can or will happen. This is the how, leading into the how. Remember, this is the how video. It's been awesome sharing this information and seeing the excitement and results. This is leading into that soft landing. That's why I put together a training program for the people that want to go deeper. Again, that's part of the soft landing. I'll be opening up the course next Tuesday. And I'm going to have limited seats in this, so be on the lookout for that email. And then just a call for comments at the end is please scroll down, leave a comment, and let me know what you think. Okay, like I did with PLC 1 and 2, I've got a checklist down here for you. So just, some things to think about as you go through this. So go out there and create your PLC 3 and just absolutely crush this.